good that we have such platforms in which you can speak freely, but in democratic societies, freedom has bounds, has boundaries, and I'm not sure if Elon Musk is the one who should define these boundaries for such a huge platform like Twitter.
Capitalism. This is America, and I'll be frankly honest with you, I wish him the best of luck. I think he'll turn it for the better. Giving people more freedom of speech. Maybe bringing my man Trump back to Twitter. I think that would be nice. I'd like to hear what he has to say.
Well, let's get more on this now with Bob O'Donnell. He's the President and Chief Analyst of TECHnalysis Research in California. Good to have you back with us, Bob. Can I take you through some of these numbers now? Okay, let's look at what Twitter was sold for, as we saw there, for $44 billion, a staggering amount. But when you compare it to other apps that was sold in the past, Instagram, for example, was sold for $1 billion back in 2012, and it has about 1 billion active monthly users. WhatsApp was sold in 2014 to Facebook for around $21 billion, and that has around 2 billion active users a month. And Twitter, on the other hand, has just about 330 million active users, yet it was sold for $44 billion. Is this a good and sound purchase for Elon Musk, just looking at those numbers?
Well, from a purely financial perspective, you do have to wonder about what Musk was thinking. From a stockholder perspective, it's a good deal because there's a lot of questions exactly to the types of questions you're raising that others have raised. It seems like a heck of a lot of money. Some people said, oh, well, the stock price at one point was higher, but that was also at a time when the entire market was way higher. And I think it's more of a reality check of where things are now. I think really, and this is where all the concern comes from. This is sort of what happens when billionaires can kind of do whatever they want. He's got all the money in the world practically, and he just decided he wanted to buy something that he likes. And it's different here, however, because it is a media platform, and media platforms, as we all know, have a lot of influence, both positive and negative. And there's a lot of concerns about what's going to happen. As you mentioned at the end of the package there, there's a lot of regulatory concerns, especially in the EU and other parts of the world, that are going to be raised as part of this deal. So it's going to be very interesting. And again, I don't think Elon Musk is buying this for purely financial purposes. I think it's definitely buying it because it's something he likes and wants to be able to control.
That's right, and it is this ideological rationale that's, I think, got a lot of people worried. We know that under the current administration at Twitter, they've been very proactive in terms of looking to clamp down on so-called fake news. They've banned users who spread this fake news, such as Donald Trump. Do you think we're likely to see a change in that strategy under Elon Musk, given the fact that he has said quite openly that he wants Twitter to be, I guess, a better purveyor of so-called free speech?
It's going to be very interesting to watch. It's this, you're asking, sort of the $64 million question, so to speak. And it's unclear what's going to happen because he's already made a number of seemingly contradictory statements to that point. So I do think there's going to be changes. I'm not sure anybody really knows exactly what those changes are going to be. We've all seen throughout the world that, again, social media can be manipulated in bad ways. And so you have to be very cautious and very concerned about that. And, you have degrees of freedom, but there do have to be some degree of controls there, because you can't just spread false information. So it is important to see how they react. And there's a lot of discussion internally, apparently within existing Twitter employees, about the concerns of the controls that they've put in place to make sure that things can be under control and truthful and things like that. And they're afraid some of that stuff could get rolled back, and that you could get into an environment where there's a lot more harassment online and things like that, which it happens in social media all over the world. So these are all legitimate concerns that I think no one's entirely clear what's going to happen. But it's that uncertainty that's driving this massive amount of attention on this deal, and massive amounts of speculation on what exactly Musk is going to do.
Yes, it will be really interesting to see what, if anything, changes under Elon Musk. Bob O'Donnell, always a pleasure. Thanks again for joining us on Money Talks.
Thanks for having me.